Hello and welcome to the Pacific Coast Auto YouTube channel. My name is Derek Weldon, and today we're taking a look at a 2001 Cadillac Seville. This one here is my first time seeing this. Now, American cars exist in Japan and you can get them for a fairly good value, but we don't have a lot of customers that go for vehicles like this. And it's a little bit sad because the vehicle is quite nice and the value of vehicles like this is incredible. Okay, so this is a front-wheel drive Cadillac. Cadillac loved the front-wheel drive cars from basically the 80s into the 90s, and super luxury inside, very soft and cushy, very soft suspension. Kind of weird compared to most of the vehicles, but I have to say, I quite like it. This, in Canada, where I come from, these cars are everywhere, but I've never actually been around one, and so this is my first time. Kind of weird. So the NorthStar is a 32-valve V8. It's kind of a modern V8 engine for when this came out because it has double overhead valves. They were still using camshafts in the blocks, push rod style engines during this time for a lot of the V8s from American cars. And so this was, I guess, considered to be a really luxurious high-end engine when it came out. Oil looks good. The coolant looks good. Engine running condition is smooth and quiet and feels really neat to drive. I'm going to close this up. I'm going to show you the auction sheet. This is the inspection. And here's an interesting little thing. Can't say the price of it, but the section of the auction is max $600 or 70,000 yen reserve price. Now that's not how much they're going to sell for, but that's the max reserve price. And so if you do get lucky, you can get the car for a little bit less than it's really worth in this area of the auction. Anyway, onto this 2001 Seville SLS. It has a 4.6 liter engine, auxiliary 4, interior B, 79,342 kilometers on here, automatic transmission, alloy wheels, power steering, power windows, airbag, and leather inside. It's a creamy, delicious leather inside. Condition of the vehicle: seat wear. Interior has cigarette burns. They're on the A-pillar liner. So it was a left-handed smoking guy throwing his cigarettes everywhere. Speaking of which, it is a left-hand drive vehicle, even though we are in Japan, and so this is same drive, or opposite of what they usually have in Japan, but for this one in Canada, it's going to be the correct side of the road for Canada. Okay, door mirrors and wheels scratched. The body is quite good, all except for one A3 scratch and one U2 dent, so I can show you those both in one swoop here. The A3 is at the bottom of the door here. See this? Zoop, 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 zoop. Now you can polish those out, and I think you can almost get them to disappear. And then they're on the inner curve of the door, and so when you stand up, you can't really see that section very well. And yeah, I would say that doesn't qualify as an A3. It's a little bit too small for an A3. The U2 here, though, looks like they opened the door into a pull, because right here, have a close look, and it is a pretty big damage here. And it's funny, it hit, I mean, it's not that funny, but it's strange that it hit right on the bumper guard here, but the bumper guard couldn't take it and indented the door even more. Okay, that being said, let's do the once around. The rest of the vehicle is gorgeous. The paint condition is nice. It's I guess a classy navy blue. The wheels are in good condition, which is great because cars of this vintage, usually aluminum wheels will corrode on them. These ones look shiny and nice. Okay, the shape of the vehicle is pretty outrageous for being here in Japan. I've been here for a little over 10 years now, and you just don't see cars this big in Japan. And so the person who drove this previously definitely got the car in order to stand out. It's the USDM tight, kind of like JDM tight, but it's USDM tight in this case. Okay. Sneak around the tree. We do have a parking pole, and so that is very Japanese. This one here, especially on a big vehicle, is very useful. It shows you where the corner of your vehicle is, and you can clearly see this from the driver's seat, so it gives you a better understanding of when your bumper is going to touch something. And that's very common on Japanese cars, particularly because the streets here are very narrow some of the time. This street that we're on right now is a nice wide one compared to your average Japanese street. So details look good, grille is good, headlights are a bit cloudy, but not that bad. Almost new tires on the front. The ones on the rear are 2005s, these are 2016s. The ones on the rear still have half their life on them, and they still look like a nice, clean tire. Looks like this was probably a car that was cleaned up for a dealer sell and then didn't sell, so they sent it to auction. Not a huge market for these here in Japan because large cars are more expensive to register. And American cars, they have kind of a different brand image here in Japan than in most countries. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. I don't know. That's the way I see it, though. So surprisingly small seats for being a front-wheel drive large car. Not very good use of space, I would say. Front-wheel drive cars naturally will have more room because there's no drive shaft running down the center and no transmission filling up the front seats. And so you get better use of that space. Power windows all the way around. This looks great. It's just so nice in there. It's so soft and cushy. Mind you, do be careful not to fall asleep when you're driving this car because it's that comfortable. I like how the headrests have a weird little design detail there. Let's not get hit by a cube. I'm sorry. That's me bowing. Sorry. There's a kid in the back. I shouldn't really be recording them in their car like that. Okay. You have rear, look at this, rear in your face, rear in the feet, and rear in the face and the feet. So you get to choose where the air goes. Kind of neat. What's this? The leather smells so nice. Oh, that doesn't come out. It's probably never come out in its life. Ooh, a place for your skis to go through. That's what that's for. And this opens. Oh, that looks a little bit different inside than I thought it would. Huh. Okay, well, there's cup holders in there. And can we open the trunk from the back? No, we can't. You need the trunk button. So there's rear sonar so that you don't bump into things in the back. It's handy to have that. There we go. And medium to large size trunk, I would say. That's tire chains, and these are Costco floor mats. I'm sad to say they're not JDM. They are made in USA. Funny story about USA. There's actually a town in Japan when Japan was into manufacturing back in like the 50s, and they named the town USA so that they could say made in USA, but it would actually say USA as in USA was the name of the town, so that they could pretend that things were made in America even though it was made in Japan during the time where made in Japan was kind of like what made in China is now. Anyway, stories aside, this is going to be the end of the video here. Pretty clean car, just has that one dent that needs to be addressed, and otherwise great condition vehicle, great value, and should be a good car for several years to come. So I hope you enjoyed this walk around. Check out our comment section for lively discussion about Cadillac Sevilles, and you can check out our website too. There's a link to that in the description. So I hope everyone enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.